is there a cover-up going on with the City of Miami Police Department, Elev8tion Jim, Wes Watson, and the beating of an African-American man who was struck on the head over 50 times with fists, kicked 5 times, hit with a weighted belt, had his eyes gouged out, and then was taken by ambulance to a hospital. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Strength Addicts on all social media platforms, powered by Iron Meg Labs. Make your mark with IML. Visit ironmeglabs.com today. I don't think there's any way the Miami Police Department or Miami-Dade Police Department or any police department saw the video in question that Johnny Bravo has released. It shows a man on his knees being kicked and punched and hit with weight training belts and dumbbells for 5 minutes. And I can't imagine that, well, the owner of Elev8tion Gym insists, even to this day, in a private message with somebody, even to this day said that the police saw the full video and the police did not do anything to Wes Watson, that he was not put under arrest, he wasn't Mirandized, nothing. I find that very hard to believe. As a licensed practicing attorney, I can't imagine for the life of me. I can't imagine. There's just no way. That's not mutual combat. That's not self-defense. That is clear as day, clear as day, clear as day, felony battery minimum. Minimum. The weight training belt's a weapon. The dumbbell in the guy's hand, it's a weapon. Those are all aggravators. The man is completely neutralized, on his knees, covering his eyes, covering his face, crying in pain and agony, trying to get away. There's no way. Now, if Elev8tion Fitness owner was telling the truth, then yes, there would be a cover-up. Whether the gym's got some kind of ties to the police or the officers responding have some ties to the police or to Wes Watson. Maybe we get Angela Lansbury on the case, for murder, she wrote. But I somehow believe there is no cover-up. The police never saw the video. And yes, they are probably horrible at their jobs, the investigative work. I mean, they probably couldn't investigate their way out of a wet paper bag. But if given the video and they see what's on it, and they don't take that to a state attorney to have Wes Watson charged, then again, uncomfortable questions would arise. Why is the Miami police not doing its job then at that point? Now, Angel Bajeda, the owner of Elev8tion Fitness, owns 4 gyms. These are very well-to-do gyms. They make a lot of money. Well, I hope they do, because, the square footage and the locations he selected is very high. The point is, I'm not going to say there's a cover-up until I have more information. If the police saw that video and did not arrest Wes Watson on the spot, I would say there's a cover-up. But I don't believe they saw that video. I don't care how much Angel says that they saw it. I don't believe they did, because even the dumbest cops would say that's not self-defense, that's not mutual combat. Wes and his Confederates are guilty of felony battery and a slew of other charges, and they're going to be arrested immediately on site. And that didn't happen. So again, if we were to base it on what the owner of Elev8tion Fitness said on New Year's Day on my Strength Addicts Instagram, we wouldn't be talking about this today. But what he said and what the video shows and what gym staff told Johnny Bravo are all totally different. Totally different. And I have him on Strength Addicts in a screenshot that's available at strengthaddicts.com in my article, where he says what he says publicly, he'll say in court. He knows how it works. Well, it just so happens that a lot of what he said on social media wasn't true. And if it isn't true, it's a lie. And if you're going to say what you say on social media in court, then you are going to lie in court. And there's some more called for that. It's called perjury. There's some more to it than that. You can lie on social media, you might lose your credibility. You lie in court, it's perjury. It's something more than that. Really, it's something more than that. So, I think there was a cover-up. I don't want to think there was a cover-up. I grew up in South Florida. But, you know, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, if they get the video and they don't take that to the prosecutor and the prosecutor doesn't sign a warrant for Wes Watson's arrest at minimum, because all those guys were acting in concert. They were all acting in concert. I got to tell you something. You know, if criminal charges don't come out of this, then I would lean more towards there's a cover-up. They could have killed this guy. The guy, the inmate that was killed in the correctional facility in New York, who got beaten on by like 14, 15 people. The people that did the actual beating were more like 4 or 5. That, you know, let me tell you something. This guy could have died. This guy could have woken up the next day and not woken up. This guy could have died. And there is nothing to justify what they did to him. They versus him. So again, you know, City of Miami Police, look, the Miami New Times, fantastic independent newspaper, has broken a lot of stories in South Florida. There's a lot of corruption. So is it possible that they're covering up for the gym? Is it possible that the gym owner could show them video knowing they wouldn't do anything? I don't know. I really don't know. But that video and that set of circumstances, that's criminal. All day, every day, and all night too. That's criminal. That's not self-defense. That's not mutual combat. That's a straight up felony battery with co-conspirators. So, you know, again, you know, or co-defendants or whatever. I don't know if Florida follows model penal code or if they follow common law or case law, whatever. The fact is they acted in concert. And they all kicked him, they all punched him, and those that didn't were serving as lookouts. They were all part of it. Nobody in that group tried to stop it but for a gym worker with blue rubber gloves on, latex gloves on. So again, the video that Wes put out there with the little tap on the bench doesn't justify what even that video shows, which is 8 punches to the head and a soccer kick to the head. But that's nothing. Wes punched this man over 50 times in the head, over 50 times. Kicked him not once, but 5 times soccer style to the head. Hit him with a weighted belt twice to the face, gouged his eyes out, pulled his hair. While his buddies were taking turns kicking, there's a big fat man there that kicks him. There's another guy that had a dumbbell that pushed him and may have hit him with the dumbbell as well. There's 2 or 3 other onlookers that may have had hits as well. Or maybe they were just watching, making sure the coast was clear. Or maybe they were waiting to get theirs in. Who knows? But all those scumbags should face criminal trial. All of them, even the 3 guys that didn't put hands on, or the 2 guys that didn't put hands on, they were serving as lookouts. They were part of the attack. They should all face criminal charges. And Wes should get sent right back to federal prison. And I'll tell you something else. Because of the type of gang that Wes was in while he was incarcerated, and because of the color of skin of the victim that he punched some 50 times on the head, kicked 5 times in the head, hit with a weighted belt to the face, gouged his eyes and pulled his hair, that might make a difference to a zealous prosecutor. They might say this was a hate crime. And now that's federal. So he'd be looking at federal charges and state charges. Not to mention the lawsuit that this kid is probably going to slap against Wes and Elevation Fitness. And again, why did the Elevation Fitness owner, what was his end game? Because now Johnny Bravo's saying in his video that Wes Watson has been kicked out of the gym. So what was his end game? Why did he go on Strength Addicts? Why did he talk to Mark Lobliner at Strength Addicts? Why did he talk to Chris McKenzie at Strength Addicts? Why did he then, because of the interactions at Strength Addicts, then give Johnny Bravo an interview that was full of inconsistencies and half-truths? Why did he do that? He owns 4 gyms. Why would he do that? It was bad enough that he allowed Wes Watson, and he allowed because he didn't stop him. If you don't stop somebody, you're allowing them by omission, in my opinion. He allowed Wes Watson to call people out to come to the gym so he could take care of business. He allowed Wes Watson to train people at the gym knowing what Wes Watson was all about. He allowed Wes Watson to continue training at Elevation after this incident and only kicked him out when the full video came out that showed the 50-plus hits to the head by the fist and the 5 soccer kicks and the 2 weighted belts to the face and the eyes gouging and the hair pulling and the other guys beating on the guy as well at Elevation Fitness. So again, I don't understand. what's the guy's connection, his loyalty to, Wes Watson? But, hey, not only did you not mitigate, you worsened the situation by going on there and telling all those lies and half-truths. I tell you something. And then I tag you in the post where the guy's getting kicked in the head while he's on his knees, and you send back a heart emoji. I mean, honestly, you're going to have one hell of a hard time telling a court that this was done, without your knowledge, and that you condemn it, because you sure as hell don't seem to be condemning anything. You're almost owning it, but as more evidence comes out, you're taking remedial measures. And I'll tell you, waiting a week to throw a guy out of a gym, that's responsible for the damage he did to this poor individual is hardly, a remedial measure. But I guess it is at some point. I don't know. I would like to see this Jim and this piece of crap and his little buddies there. I'd like to see them all get sued, because sometimes the civil court gets it right where the criminal court doesn't.